of order is sustained.
Order, please.
Dismissed Senator Natasha, please, you are not recognized to speak from there. That is the order of the Senate.
Sir, order 10 on privileges. Order 10 on privileges.
Distinguished Senator Natasha.
Any senator may rise at any time to speak upon a matter of privilege suddenly arising, and he shall be prepared to move without notice. A motion declaring that the content of breach of privilege has been
that allows suspension immediately.
Or refer.
My fellow Nigerians, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you observe very well what plays there now. The Senate President, that is the third person in the country, said you are not allowed to speak from where you are. He never said do not speak. He said you are not allowed because of seat arrangements. Now, in the House of Senate, there were some arrangements due to some event that took place when some senators, like Senator Ifanyoba, died, and some other senators. So there was some little arrangement on seats. So some people, and most of them, whenever they want to speak, they go back to their own seats to speak from there. Now, look at what this lady is playing now. Sometimes, I'm not saying that what she's doing is totally wrong. On her own perception, she may be right. But this is one of the reasons why you see the higher you go in politics, the lesser women you see. You can see her vibration. This drama is becoming so interesting. This one is an entertainment story in the Senate. Now, there is something I need us to understand. In the House of Senate, there is a committee that is in charge of disciplinary actions towards any senator that is mistreated in any form. What do I mean by this? This committee is totally in charge of if any senator feels cheated, or if any senator is having any challenge with a fellow senator, whether Senate President or any person at all. You can go to this committee, they will resolve it amicably. Now look at, no matter how big we claim to be, look at how everybody, she stood there and was pointing finger straight to the face of Senate President that I'm not afraid of you. I don't know. She may be right.
On the 8th of December 2023, which was a day before his birthday and my birthday, we are birthday mates. We were all in Akwa Ibom because he had a big fanfare in the stadium. Myself, my husband, and a few of his close friends, we went to Akwa Ibom. And at first, we were at Ikot Ekpene. We were in his house in Ikot Ekpene. Then we all moved to his house in Uyu, which was about 8 p.m. And he held my hand and said he wanted to show me around his house. My husband was walking behind us, just three of us. We're walking around from room to room. He showed me the beautiful interior. This was done by this, by that. This designer here, he bought this from us. Like, oh, it's beautiful. And then I noticed that he hastened his pace while still holding my hand. And my husband was behind, still on his phone, but he was catching up whenever he could. And then he got to this particular sitting room, and he said, "Do you like my house?" I said, "Of course, sir. Every room, beautiful, nice interior, quality taste." He said, "Now that you're a senator, I'm going to create a time for us to come spend quality moments here. You will enjoy it." At that point, I just pulled away, and I was like, I don't really understand what exactly that meant. But then my husband now, when I turned around, I saw my husband was already near me, and the way my husband looked at me and looked at him, I was beginning to wonder, did he hear part of that inciting statements or not? And then the Senate President too, I saw that he also had that thought, like, did my husband hear the invitation to treat or not? So then the Senate President now said, oh, by the way, let me show you my chapel. He has a chapel in his house as well. So while we were going to the chapel, you know, we walked in silence and all. So that evening, before we left the Senate President's house at about 11 midnight to the 4 Points in Ikotepene. And my husband asked me, Natasha, what did the Senate President whisper to you? What's he telling you? I thought, should I tell him that he was speaking about bringing me in here at a special time for us to have a good time? Or should I just kill it there, wrap it as if there was nothing? Because tomorrow was a big day. I know how much my husband adores the Senate President. He loves him as a brother. My husband would do anything to support him. So I told my husband, nothing. I can't remember what I created, but I just gave him some words to manage, to mask what was said. After, when we laid in bed, I lay to my right and my husband wrapped his arms around me and he said, my love, you know you can't tell me anything. What did the Senate President tell you? Again, I was like, don't you believe me? I said, nothing. Nothing. Moreover, it's my birthday in a few minutes. Let's just be happy. Then my husband told me he doesn't want to see me travel out of the country alone, and I should not go to the Senate President's house because he has a guest house where many senators do go there, you know, after office to like get approvals and all that. So I told him, okay, no problems. That was it.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's very painful and very unfortunate that because in a country like Nigeria, where there's hunger, fuel problems here and there, the cost of products in the market is rising so high. Inflation, is it what we're supposed to be talking about in this kind of country? Do you think that this issue is enough to come out to public as matured as I think that Senator Natasha is? I think there are many other things we need to be talking about. This story sounded to me as when we were in primary school. Our boyfriend, girlfriend, she held my hand, she kissed me. God, do we need to be talking about this in the House of Senate, in the country of insecurity, in the country where people are dying of hunger, in the country where the economy is crippling every day? Is this what we support? Please, Senator Natasha, I'm not saying you've lied in any form, but if you cannot go and resolve your issues amicably with the Senate committee that's in charge of this, I suggest you bring your evidence so that law can take its course against the Senate President instead of going through this direction on social media. Because some of our politicians, when they need assistance, they run to social media. But in some cases, if they go against social media, they place ban on many media houses. But when they need, I don't want to go into that. Please kindly provide evidence so that we will know, because we are going to hear from the wife now. The wife said they don't even have house in Ikotepene. Now Senator Natasha is saying that he took me to the house in Ikotepene, he held my hand. Does that make sense to you? Is it not too childish to talk about? Let's hear from the wife, please.
Family, which is Senator Godswill Akpabio's family, my husband, and the father of my children. He's a very nice man. He's kind-hearted. He's very jovial, which people always mistake for any other thing.
Oh, please, there is something that this woman said that touched my heart. She said, my husband is very jovial, that sometimes people mistake it for another thing. Remember, now we are in the society whereby if you go to any office or if you are walking around and you see a girl or a lady and you tell her, because they don't greet. No, ladies of this day, they don't greet. If you tell them how are you, they will mistake it for another. They would go and tell their friends, this man want to sleep with me because you just said how are you. I don't know. The mental perception of some women, majority of women, especially Nigerian women these days, is totally an object of concern. Because you cannot, this mere accusation has thrown so many young men into prison. Some people are still waiting trial after many years in prison. They have not even gone for trial because of mere accusation like this. Please, I advise and suggest to police, do not take anyone to court because of mere accusation of sexual harassment from women, except they provide rational, concrete evidence backing it up. Because we are in the society whereby many women believe the easiest way to draw attention, public attention, is by playing this victim card. Please, men, be conscious and be very careful. Now, looking at the rational sense, is the Senate President's wife, is she not beautiful? I think she is. She is more beautiful than any. Look at where we are now. He held my hand and he touched me. What? Let's keep going.
And I believe that for somebody to go and make such an allegation, there must be a discussion at home. There must have been a sanction or an approval. Oh, you're going to say this, go ahead and say it. And if the approval has come from the husband, our friend, I believe that he would have spoken to me because we are close. He's close to my husband. But if he didn't give her the approval to go on air and make such an allegation, then the question is, does he have control? Did he give her the approval? And then if the wife had complained about such a thing, and he still comes, and he's normal, there is no man you will tell, that the wife will tell, it's your friend harassed me. I know how you men behave, that will not frown. First of all, the attitude towards the person will change. But this attitude never changed. And if you're talking about the house, we don't have any house in Ikorebene. Ikorebene is a local government. We are from a Senudim local government. Our country home is in a Senudim, in Okana. And I didn't hear anything about Okana. We have a beautiful home in Okana. If you're talking about Uyo, house in Uyo, I'm always there. So the home you are talking about